Bon, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the fourth webinar of the series Infusion at Zoo. Today we have a very glorious rainy day in Montreal. I don't know where the rest of you are, but I hope the weather is a bit better on your end. Today we have with us Jean-Luc Hébert, who's the Director of Marketing and Business Strategy at Simon. I'll let him actually introduce himself a bit more. And the topic we're covering today is internationalization, which is quite an interesting topic in today's day and age, and specifically in those times. So I will let Jean-Luc take the mic, and I'll turn off my video. But before I do, I just want to let you know I'll be in the background taking your questions, activating your mics, etc. So do not hesitate at any moment to ask your question, be it on the chat or on the Q&A section. We welcome those with very, very open arms, so don't hesitate at any time during the presentation. All right, Jean-Luc, the mic is yours.
Merci, no. Thank you. Okay, hello everyone. It's always strange to feel by myself in front of a screen, trusting that there are actually people there. Oh, you can stay there. I see. Oh, okay.
I'll stay here so that you don't feel alone.
As you wish. And then, yeah, you're right. The topic today will be a bit about sharing my humble experience about, well, traveling the world, developing crazy projects, as I will show you some of them. And so, yeah, we'll go through some like principles and stuff you might read. But I was thinking about when I was reading like reading again topics we agreed to discuss with Noah about this. I was thinking about bringing a bit more of a human aspect of it. Okay, once you're there, what's the real life? A lot of stories about what happened or things that maybe sometimes you don't think about. So I'll just go into what I'm a kind of a relationship person who puts more sometimes about human interactions, because this is all it is about at the end. Okay, it's for projects to work more than machines and money and stuff. I mean, once you establish what kind of contact you have, what is the interest of the other person you're talking to, what are their dreams, what's the reason for them to kind of do business or work on a project with you. So so we can go about this. So if I share a little screen here like this, tell me if something appears. Good, good, okay, yeah. So my name, Jean-Luc Hébert. I'm working with a company called Simon. I'm actually vice president of company. I'm oriented on development of the company toward the vision of sales and projects we develop. The president is a guy called Carl Bro. He's in China, in Shanghai. So I put a Shanghai picture here, but I should have put also a Montreal picture, because we have a strong team here in Montreal also, with Lynn Baudet, Emmanuel Benabou, and Eric Savage. And actually, Emmanuel is also on the line. At the end, during the questions, she might answer some of your questions, as she has a master's degree in international business, and she's taking care of all aspects of logistics for the company here. So I will not go through too much about what I do now. It will be more about what brought me to what we do now. So if I try to change page, yeah, okay. So I would start right away with kind of a snapshot experience of what brought me to what I will tell you today. Okay. Sorry if I'm looking at the other screen here. I try not to turn my head. So first, I studied as an engineer. So I studied at McGill University. It was a very nice experience. Was in computer engineering, well, electrical engineering, and then I specialized more in what we were calling micro codes in computer engineering. So then I worked for Oerlikon Aerospace in Saint-Jean and MPB Technology, developing a crazy project of a fiber optics under the ocean to link our continents. It was all developed in Montreal. And then some research with some Hydro-Quebec, and then IBM. When I talk about IBM, I was looking at some pictures here of the actual plant in Bromont. I don't know if you've been to Bromont, probably for skiing or visiting the Chocolate Museum, but there's also an IBM plant there with about 3,000 employees. And it was a very nice experience. I was there about 16 years, and I was managing the IT development. So everything regarding the programming of computers there, not for clients, but for the semiconductor development. So everything that was related on the manufacturing line. The only picture I found of myself was this with the IBM here. So believe me, this is not in Bromont, but this is at the time I was there. And then the other aspect of my brain was busy with doing music and creating shows and being on more artistic side. I would say that for some years it was a bit confusing. People didn't know if they were talking to doing with an engineer or a musician and arranger. So I did crazy projects also. I was part of the band of a play that was called Restez, and this was another show here. And yeah, so I was mainly on keyboards, programming. This is at the younger time. This was even the pipe organ. I was mixing. This was a Notre Dame de Paris. It's a remake that was made in a concert mode involving a pipe organ and also musicians at the front. So I was the kind of musical director of this play. It was a bit crazy, but it was very nice. So this was the other aspect of creating and being more on the and having creating relationships also in this more artistic and creative world. Yeah, so this is another. So you see rapidly that kind of two sides of my life that I was trying to get together. And then I became a vice president at Casavant for market development. Casavant is the largest pipe organ builder in the world. You know what a pipe organ, if you get in the church, what you see at the back with the big pipes, that's a pipe organ. But you have also in concert halls, you have in conservatories, music schools. For example, in Montreal, if you go to the Maison Symphonique, there's a huge pipe organ there, about $3.5 million. So I was involved in this project. So I stayed there about 10 years. My idea was try to bring together this engineering side at IBM and this artistic side of musicians. Say, okay, let's try to blend the two together in developing markets for pipe organ. So for me, I discovered kind of a third corner of the triangle, which was international development. It's like if in life, okay, I can be an engineer, very technical, managing projects, driving people, managing resource budgets and stuff to make projects happen at IBM. I can be a musician, creating, caring about sounds, chords, melodies, the way people will sing, the interaction, lighting and stuff. And then I said, okay, I will combine the two, but this was not even, I was not even expecting what I would discover as being, no, I mean, if you go to Taiwan or China or Nigeria, as I did, to develop a pipe organ project there for a couple of $1 million, there's another aspect that you bring, which is totally different. It was very amazing to discover. So it's a bit about what I'd like to share with you. It's like, you never know what life is bringing you. One of my friends, when I was leaving IBM to get to Casavant, was telling me, be careful of what you're asking life, because it might bring you. And that's what happens sometimes. So when I said I was vice president, I qualify myself more as a relationship manager. It's all about how you build the teams that will bring the projects go. So just to show you some of the projects, when I'm talking about Casavant projects, okay, this is the organ in Maison Symphonique. It's the first organ built by Casavant that is controlled by an iPad. So during the inaugural concert, I was actually sitting in the hall with an iPad and I was managing the sounds of the organ while the organist was playing. So it was a bit crazy, but was fun. So this project here, I'm very proud of this one. This is the Beijing Cathedral. It's called Beitang, Bei for North, so the temple of the North. So it's Cathedral of Beijing, took 3 years. This is a brand new Casavant organ that was installed, not copying, but reinstalling the style of the organ that was installed there in 1880 and was removed during the Cultural Revolution. So it was quite of a political challenge even to get this installed there. This is in Hefei in China. This is in Inner Mongolia. This is in Fuzhou. So some of the things to let you feel. So once you get on the project, like for example, this is in Fuzhou. This was during the constructions. This is in Ordos here. I think you follow the mouse. And so this is the Inner Mongolia Concert Hall, which is representing the Mongolian man hat and the woman hat. This is the Hefei Concert Hall. You see, it's the Swan Lake. So it's supposed to represent as kind of a swan here. So I was very proud. This is the first project that I was really involved, and to feel how proud I was to just to have those boxes here coming from Quebec. So the whole front of the concert hall here came from a city called Saint-Hyacinthe in Quebec here. And you see here some of the guys who were Canadian guys coming to install this. They were spending 3 months to supervise the whole team there to install this. So this was my first project as being supervising. I was kind of the engineer of the place and the project leader to make sure everything would happen. So this was about 2009, 2010. I was to remember, was, yeah. And at the end, this was the result. So this was at the inauguration. And so we're talking about the hall here, okay? So, that's the kind of project that I was playing, like to put on a map where I could have where I was involved in different projects of this kind of nature. And this is about the map here. Like I've been like Australia here, Melbourne and Sydney, Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, Chengdu. There was even there was a project in Germany here, Nigeria. This was something. Okay, Puerto Rico. There's a nice concert hall in Puerto Rico. Which was a bit damaged by the hurricane. It's very sad. And yeah, Sao Paulo in Brazil and stuff. So that's enough for the presentation. So what I would just go over, I'm just looking at the time. Where do we go and why? Okay, that's the first question we should ask. And each of you should ask themselves. And then how to go. And what do we do there? So once we are there, how is it going? Okay, so I would just, and the most important to me is how to make a success out of it, personally and business-wise. For sure, there will always be like this, where do we go and why, which is dictated by a strategy of the business and the project and the kind of idea you have with your either new company or a new product in your company. But always related also to what it will drive you inside of you. I mean, once you're there, once you're by yourself in Beijing trying to negotiate a project or any city in the world, and you by yourself or with a colleague, you will get by yourself there saying, okay, what in the hell am I doing here? I mean, why am I here? I remember sitting down on a sidewalk on the street. I just sat down on the sidewalk in a cafe and was thinking like, okay, how in life did I get here? Like, and it's very important, like to reassess. Okay, where do we go and why? Okay, the market might be more mature and interesting somewhere else, for sure. I will start with the line here. Try the drop from plain dream. Okay, that's my name. It's a personal. I don't talk about this very often, but it's something that I had in my life. Sometimes I was just waking up in night, like, you know, when you're half awake. And I was thinking about a product or a project I was doing. And in my mind, I was seeing it like in the plane going over the earth and sometimes dropping some of those units at different places in the world. I was imagining, okay, someone is dropping this new console that we're doing at Casavan. Okay, someone is dropping one in India. Someone is dropping one in Nigeria. Someone in Taiwan, in France. And how people were reacting, like seeing this arrive on the earth. It's like, oh gosh, what are we going to do with this? And how people react. And to me, it was kind of an image of what would be the perception, and just try to imagine your project as being put suddenly in the hands of people, and every place in the world, they will have something and sometimes it might even involve some research. Like, what about this project being in South Korea? What's the mood of people there? What's the trend? How would they react culturally, socially, or business-wise about this project? So I don't want to oversimplify. I mean, strategies are not coming from kind of being half woke up in the night, but still, it's the image of, okay, let's focus to somewhere. Sometimes you want to test some markets, not to burn yourself in your main or definite one. There's a project we work with on Série. It's a product that a company developed, a startup. I'll keep it confidential, but it's still a delicate story that we were glad that the market they were envisioning to develop finally was not the final one, because they really missed the point. They really missed, and it's like, okay, through their social medias and people will talk about it outside, but still try to isolate it sometimes. But because once you focus on the market, don't focus on 15 at the same time. I mean, there will be a lot of work to, and things are not moving at the same speed everywhere, okay? It's true. You might feel in a place that, gosh, it's not moving. But if you see it's not moving, be sure there will be another place where things will be moving quite fast. And once you get in the trend of wow, okay, yeah, people are reacting, they're very interested. Wow, is the meeting happening? Yes, they already confirmed for tomorrow. Not like, well, we don't hear of anyone, and I don't know if they're interested. Let's try again. Let's try again. I mean, there are many places in the world. Okay, there's a nice definition here of something that long time ago. I mean, I would say, like when I was a kid, that to me it was kind of obvious. Okay, what we call a born global. Okay, you might see it in the literature of any international study or something. Okay, type of company that from the beginning of the activities pursues a vision of becoming global. To me, when I read it the first time some years ago, I think it was in 1994 this book was published. I don't remember the author, but still I was like, wow, every company should be more global. Is there any company in the world who is just trying to stay domestic? I mean, okay, for sure it says technology related that operates in international markets from the earliest days of the establishment. Okay, we will not go international the first day, I agree. But just to keep this vision of not putting anything that will restrict you to be. And then my question would be, what really is your domestic? If you say, okay, let's stay domestic at first, okay, but is domestic like being your 1 kilometer around, being your country, your province, the language? We are developing at Simon, what characterizes us being international is that we speak French. So we being in Quebec, so it's very good for Quebec people, but you must admit that every day we talk with people outside of Quebec who speak English. But still, there are people from Bretagne in France who contacted us, a kind of incubator there. And the reason is like, you guys speak French and you might help us there. So it's kind of, that's another kind of domestic reality of what, I mean, are you guys speaking Portuguese, Spanish, French, or something? So this is bringing you a kind of another definition of a village around you. What's your real goal? Always reassess this. When you will be sitting down on the sidewalk, as I did in Cafe, why am I here? Okay. How do you think you will sell your work there? And what do you think will be your first mode of entry, which will probably not be the definite one? But are you going there to sell a service, to partner up with someone who's already there, who might be considered as your competitor at first, but then you will learn and then I mean, it's like if a chef starts to work with a restaurant that, I mean, he just wants to learn, or she, and then move away to another place. Okay. So what really will be, what for now is your goal of where you will be working, and make sure it will change. Okay. Then prepare yourself. Okay. First thing I would say, plan your financials. Okay. And something that people forget sometimes or they miss, there are programs out there, for example, can export. Oh, there's noise suddenly. I don't know if it's coming from my place. No. No, there's a big noise coming to my. Oh, okay. So there are programs there that might help you if you never did anything with a place. Okay, so we see sometimes companies who would like to benefit, but they ask too late because they've been already there. They already had a kind of an agreement with a potential agent. So just no. I mean, the first thing is, for example, can export. It's really like submit your applications 3 months in advance of any activities. Okay, for SMEs, you can get up to 75 or even startups like to cover up 75% of international market development. This is worth getting, but make sure. I mean, it will take 60 days before you get any reply. So don't contact them the day before you get on the plane, right? So
when you say any activity, what, like anything related to international development?
Yeah, with this country.
Okay.
Like if you say, well, there's a potential development in Switzerland for us, there's an interest there, or you have a strategic development for, I don't know, South America, Brazil, and then go right away, establish your goal, your plan, your financials and stuff. But then any development activities, okay, if you come there and you say, well, I've been there twice already and I have this, but then I need help. It might be too late. Well, you already did something, so you need to go to another program. And there will be other programs to help you once you're there. But if you want to benefit for everything, be sure to also grab what's possible as the first earliest stage of your development. Well, when you're thinking about this place, okay. I don't mean to try to take a chance to grab everything from every possible country development. But once you're serious about the place, see this 3 months there. Yeah, don't lose time in getting some people to fill the forms. This is tedious job. Okay, that's I would say over all my and I'm sorry if there's any government people or people for programs on the line, but my worst moments in developing, I would say, was when I was sitting down with those piles of forms or PDF to fill up, and then what will be, what is your strategy of this? What will be your expense of this and this? And it's like, I don't know, but you still need to figure out something that, and then, I mean, this was, and then you fill up something, then you get approval, you need to provide this, and then, oh gosh, did we keep this receipt of this expense there? We should have contacted them before. That to me was not so. So make sure to have someone. There are people who like it. Okay, that's what is good about humanity, is the diversity of people. Things that I hate to do, I know people who just love to do it. So find someone who loves to or is good at getting all those forms, and make sure to respect the deadlines of submission and getting an answer reply. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I already planned for a pricing strategy, cost structure. Okay. Will you be manufacturing there, supplying? And well, I'll come back to this a bit later. But you should register your brand. The other thing is, if you have any trademark, before you show any business card, okay, just check if it's worth registering your brand there. Not make sure. I'm talking only about China. I mean, other people, other countries. Try to protect yourself before. It's not that much an investment. I'm not saying about patent or still, just at least that your name there. Once people get it, there's not someone who say, oh gosh, that's a great idea, let's register it, and then they will owe us. If you want, they will need to pay us if they want the name. Okay, check for an emission for government. This is very good. I've participated to emissions. I think 3 of them, one with Premier Ministre Couillard, the other one with Minister Daou, who, this was in 2014, I think, Minister of Economy Development. It's good, but be careful. I mean, to me, sometimes it becomes a trap. People feel that, okay, I did a mission, so I've been there, I knew the people. Well, you might not always hear the truth, okay? Once you get there, not from our people, but from the presentation, okay, it will be all well said. They're all prepared to receive you because they're government people, and you will feel like, wow, there's a real interest. Gosh, there were 20 people in front of me listening to my pitch, and they all applaud, and I got business cards and stuff. Yeah, okay. This is a mirage a bit, okay? Go there. You must make sure all those people 2 weeks after are they still talking to you, and if you say, okay, I'll be back in 3 weeks, just go there almost right away and make sure to meet them one by one and see if the interest is still there. I saw so many people who were bringing me kind of pile of business cards. I've got this, so I need to sort out like over the 50 business cards. At the end, what are the 2 or 3 cards that are really potential leaders, potential leads, okay? There's a story that the ones, I will bring the story later, okay? The story is just that the one I was feeling during my second mission, the one I was feeling the least interesting happened to be the one that brought a project forward. And this kind of guy sitting at the back of the hall, it's like, okay. And then, yeah, and then, but then all the other one vanished, and this person was more in the mode of, yeah, I will bring you somewhere. But checking if, yeah, trade shows. Trade show is very important. If there's any trade show, either in your domain or not, okay, there's a sentence here, be awkward when it doesn't really matter first, okay? The way, depending on cultures where you go, the way you will even introduce yourself, the way you give the business card, the way you salute, do you shake hands, do you touch? Some cultures, I mean, you don't, especially if it's a man with a woman, I'm sorry to say, but it's better you don't, like, I'm used to hug in this nut time, okay? So if you were to be awkward with people, make sure it's not during your first official meeting with the best lead of your life, okay? Be awkward at other place, observe how, I mean, go to a booth and just see how, when people arrive, how do they interact? See your competition, how are they doing, and how can you be better, okay? The whole thing there is how can you be better than your competition? So, and going to trade shows, either to present or to attend. We have a client at Semen. It's funny, they're in the agricultural business. It's AI technology applied to pork rising, like for farms. And the first time they've been to China, they've been to, and it was not on, they were going to China and Australia. And there were 2 agricultural trade shows, and they saw their products in both booths of a company distributor that they did not even knew that they would sell them. It was very kind of a reaction of, gosh, we've been copied, maybe. There's interest for a product, and boy, they are selling it less expensive than it cost us to make. So 3 reality checks that make finally they wanted to sue everyone there. It's like, and then they realized that the best strategy was to partner up with them because they already developed the market. Well, they did not become friends that much, but still they developed the market for them. And then people were happy to see, okay, you're the real one. You, this toy there is invented. Yes, we are the ones. So after some years, we did not sue at the end. Check for government office there. Okay, that's my, it's funny that I always start with the last sentence here. The story, I met so many people who didn't know their government reps. Okay, I was in South Korea. If you're from Quebec and you go to South Korea in Seoul to develop something, you must know Mr. Yu. Okay, Mr. Yu, Y-O-O. He's not there on the line, but he would be laughing if you heard me. Okay, Mr. Yu started the Quebec office there in 1991, and he's still there. He's the kind of Korean man with a Quebec flag on the forehead. Okay, so I was there. He's been so helpful for me in different things that I was living. He was working now for Valérie Boissonneau, who's taking care of the Quebec office there. But 2 times I met, there's an architect working in Seoul who worked for Louis Vuitton and this kind of stores for stores development. And he was having a problem. We were having a drink And I was like, well, talk to Mr. Yu. He said, who? You don't know Mr. Yu? No. Have you been to Quebec office? No. Where is it? Shut. Embassy. You need, okay. And those government office can help you so much in different things and go as far as you can. My story would be, I wrote here the CTO, Canada Trade Office. So the Canadian Trade Office in Taipei, which we used to call the CTOT, because you know Taipei is in Taiwan, so there's no embassy. Okay, Chinese would not accept that, and for different reasons. But there's a Canadian Trade Office in Taipei, and for me, it was the office, the Canadian office in the world who helped me the most go through the projects. Why? They're not busy about issuing visa. They're not that busy about immigration. Okay, they're there for business, and there's not much political things going. So they were able to focus and help bring you more than, for example, the office in the Quebec office in Beijing, for example, who is more about cultural and there's some political turmoils and stuff. Okay, so bring the office in Shanghai, for example, Shanghai, which is a bit further from government, the more oriented. Jean-François Lépine is there. So Jean-François and the team are much more oriented like toward economy and stuff. And so just go as far as you can with them. They will tell you when it gets out of their of the work they can do. Yeah, okay. For the personal contacts, the first time I flew to South Korea, okay, it was, I will not tell the whole story because it's long, but there was a bit of an accident just because one of my luggage fell from the overhead bin, okay, when we arrived. And the flight attendant, actually, when we left, she put this there saying, okay, sir, you cannot get, okay, put it there. When I arrived, it fell, and it fell on the feet, on the foot of a Korean guy there, who really wanted to sue me because I damaged his shoe and I caused problem on it, as he has a pain on the shoe. And I stayed in the flight. I mean, they had time to clean the whole plane, and I was still in the plane arguing with them and the attendant because there was no way I could leave before I give my passport numbers, bank information. So, I mean, I was like, okay. And then at the end I said, okay, wait, I know someone here. Let me call my Quebec office and the embassy. And then it changed kind of everything. It's like, okay, yeah, you will talk to them, okay? I was so glad that I could have those people. But this is a surprise, okay? Every time you go somewhere, you might feel a surprise, and then it gets to once you are there, okay? You will find a partner. You need to find partners in the place you want to develop. Okay, there's no way you will get them by yourself, either for the language or even if you speak the same language. I was talking about Taiwan and China, for example. One of the mistakes I did first is, well, not first, the second, I can tell you, okay, business partners, along my life in developing projects in Asia, I got 5 different agents, 6 if I count the one in South Korea. Okay, 3 of them just vanished along the way because, okay, they could not deliver. We need to find another one. One of them was a Taiwanese company, very well established in Beijing. They have the largest recording studio, actually, a company called Linfair. I like very much the CEO. Duncan is a very nice guy. We had so much fun to get together. Then some people make me realize, even if they speak the same language, they don't laugh at the same joke. Okay, it's like if in America you develop a project in the north of Quebec and you bring someone from Texas. Oh yeah, okay, we're North America, but I mean, it's not the same culture. Okay, you need to be localized as being global. You need to think global for sure. But once you get to a place, what is the size? Okay, if you go to Switzerland, I've been there 3 times, and realizing that every village had their own accent and they have their own cheese because they don't believe the cheese must be grown in the same way than the village before. And sometimes it even brings war. Sometimes it's I mean, it's like if, to me, when I go I'm talking with someone still in Switzerland developing a project, and it's like, okay, they will focus on la région du Valais, but no way you can get a bit further with this project. People will not believe it's good. So depending on the region, but Switzerland, I mean, I used to say that Switzerland is the same size of Quebec once you are on it. Okay, when you but you really need to think about your place. Okay, your first partner, 90% of the time, won't be the best partner. So make sure your contract takes this into account. Never give any exclusivity, and never soldier yourself or like screw yourself up with someone for years. Okay, always make sure you have a good exit scenario and a try. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Okay, so we base our renewal of agreement based on the performance, based on any ethical problems that might happen and stuff. So make sure you can get yourself out, because you will probably have to be. Okay, most partners or investors you will be from another field of business, so they will probably not know that much your field, even if they claim to. Okay, it's okay. Make sure about your IP. I mean, I will talk about it. So protect your IP. I mean, don't give it to anyone. Make sure you have those clauses in your contract. Okay. Make sure they have the right business scope. Again, with the business office, like the Canada Trade Office or Embassy or Bureau du Québec. First time I went to Brazil in Sao Paulo, people there, they did so nice job. I mean, I warned them I would be going there. I was going there in summer 2016. And they already listed companies that I would be interested in meeting. And it was very nice. But the mistake I did is, okay, let's write an email, because I was feeling, okay, that's a personal thing, but I mean, just between you and me, I was doing so many things in Asia, and I had been to Africa also, being kind of in a foreign place of the world. So I was feeling like, well, Brazil in almost the same time zone. We're in America. I mean, all the Brazilian people I met, they're so warm and stuff. It's like if I feel myself, sometimes I have a friend saying, you feel like a Brazilian heart, maybe. So I felt it would be easy. So just sent email. I sent about 10 emails to all those companies that were identified. No reply, nothing yet. It's like, gosh. And then I was a bit, I remember the lady in the Bureau du Québec was a bit angry, telling me, you don't understand anything about Brazil. You need to come, you need to hug, you need to touch. So totally different than the attitude I would have in Middle East or even in Asia. I mean, I used to say in Hong Kong, the first time I was in Hong Kong, I hugged the person because we talked so many times on the phone and stuff. And then she told me, are you okay? Yes, sorry. And then I realized along the years, you don't need to touch when you arrive, because you will need to touch anyway while you walk on the street. People are so it's so dense that you will happen to be, and it's like in Quebec, I was telling last week to a friend, we touch when we arrive, we touch when we leave, and then we're careful not touching. There, it's the inverse. You don't need to touch when you, and then, so I made my trip there. And the one that seemed to be the least interesting on the list is finally the one that I met all the times I went there to develop project. So yeah, so the Quebec office there was really also useful. Okay, ask for reference. Okay, register your brand. If you have any patent, well, it becomes a bit more tedious to kind of register patent and stuff. So don't start putting money on this until you're sure that you will be doing business in this place, okay? And make sure not to disclose your plan. Some areas in the world, to register your patent, you need to provide everything. I mean, no, keep yourself a distance, okay? Prepare the proper NDAs, that's very important, but make sure they are localized. Some NDAs that we are using here, in some countries, will just not apply because of a single clause. So it's always good to have a kind of a lawyer there. Just invest sometimes, or get a template from the embassy or from the Quebec office there. Maybe the first thing even is like, I'm planning to be there. Do you have any idea? Can I have a lunch? when I was going to South Korea, the first lunch I was always having is, guess, with Mr. Yu. It's like, okay, what's the trend here? And did you hear about this client? Did we mess up? Because see the kind of answer I got from this like negotiation thing. What do you think is happening? So what would you suggest me to do next time I meet? So and also you can ask like, do you have any template of NDAs that company are using that are really enforced in your place there? Okay, and keep written evidence. Okay, try to make pictures. I know selfies, it's just a bit maybe not that popular anymore. But it's good that you document that on this date. See, I was with this person. So when they will tell you, no, I never met you, but maybe we were together at this cocktail there. See, that's where we met. What time is it? Okay. Take time to understand their own perspective. Yeah. A principle also that I would say, when we partner up with people here in Montreal or your place of business in Canada, okay, it's like that to find people that complement ourselves. If I look at the team here with at Seman, Lynn, Emmanuel, Eric, and myself in Montreal, I mean, we're all different, and it's so good because we're kind of the four parts of a puzzle that makes a nice image at the end. When you get to a place outside like this, I mean, it's so already different. Sometimes the difference with culture, background, experience, the aim you have. So I felt it's better if you find someone that is more like you, but there. Okay, if it's not always easy, but you will feel like more like sometimes you need to feel okay. This person understands me, despite the distance, despite all the difference of mentality, and there's never. I don't know if it's in the full, I don't remember if I read it somewhere, but there's never better or bad, okay? It's not like, oh gosh, if they could think like us, things would be so much easier, okay? When I was developing in China, I used to tell people, you know, there are much more people here than our place, so why would be our thinking better than theirs? I mean, they've been there way long before us, okay? So the roots, so we need to learn about that. So yeah, be patient, focused, and stay modest. This is bringing me to a thing that is a bit more personal, but stay modest, stay at eyes level. What the common denominator of everything I would say on earth between human is the eye contact. Okay, when we meet someone, I mean, okay, maybe someplace you need to be careful not to, okay, don't stare at someone, but still, this kind of eye contact, and sometimes it's very subtle on how much higher, and that's my image, okay? Stay at eye contact. If you feel, I saw people arriving there, like Canadian people arriving in a country and feeling like, okay, I'm coming there with a project, I'll show you how things work. You don't know anything about that. They were not saying literally, but their attitude was a bit like wanted to teach, or and people don't accept that. Okay, it's like what who are you? And other people I saw who are at the inverse, trying to compensate and do a bit of stupid jokes or political jokes, just like to show that hey, they're cool and stuff. And then I was having reactions from people. It's like, I don't bring this guy anymore here in the meeting. We don't like this attitude. It's like, and it's very sensitive. Okay, stay at eyes level, not higher, not lower. Just listen and show you do. Okay, rephrase the language. If sometimes it's different. Okay, so bring value to the other person. Okay, what is the dream of the person you want to work to, and care about them. Show that you really care. Okay, once you're here, the chat is very. I mean, don't keep silence for too long. Okay, so hey, how are you? I hope the COVID is not affecting any of your family. Just having a thought about you, and we had a great time, which to meet soon. Even if there was no business content, anything, just show you care. When you will be back again, they will remember you. Okay. Yeah. Once you're there, how much time do we still have?
We have about 10 minutes left.
Okay. Well, I don't even know. I'm just throwing a lot of like speaking about what is my passion about development with human. I have no idea if this fits with what you guys were expecting.
We can tell that you're very, very passionate about the subject. So that's why I didn't want to intervene or interrupt you. So it's good.
Well, I'll tell you a story here. Okay, make sure you know about the culture, if it's okay for you. The first project I showed you at the beginning, the first project in Inner Mongolia. Okay, Inner Mongolia is a special region of China. There are 56 nations of China. Okay, so when I got there, the first time I was presenting a pipe organ project, I was presenting a project with 51 stops. Stops is kind of it's like a musical instrument in an orchestra. Okay, how many stops you have in an organ is how many buttons with different sounds and stuff. So we present an organ with 51 stops. This is a decent size. I mean, for 800 seats hall with the size they had a project about $1.5 million with the size and everything. So the presentation went well. At the end, the jury was talking together. And then the translator, she told me very seriously, sir, the jury members here are, they consider that you are trying to create a political instability in China. Come on, when we're talking about pipe organ, what's the point? I was a bit laughing, and then she said, it's not funny. They think you lack respect to China. I said, why? There are 56 nations in China. You present an organ with 51 stops. Where are the 5 missing nations? Oh gosh. Okay, you mean that I should have had 56 stops? For sure. I mean, that's the first organ to be installed in the Chinese minority region. There must be 56 to represent the 56 nation. I never thought in my life that I would this kind of, and I was like, okay, but if we have 56 stops, there will be more expensive, will take more space. And yeah, sure. So you have up to 2 p.m. this afternoon to come back with another proposal. Thank you. Okay, so this is during night in Canada. So I remember waking up the technical directors at Casavin and say, sorry to wake you up. You need to have 5 more stops. Where do we put them? Finally, we got the project. I mean, the proof is I was there building up, okay? So I was doing things, maybe some people would not agree, okay? But the number 4 in China is not something that sounds good. It sounds like the word death, okay? So you don't want to, I was making unsure. And 8-8 is kind of a lucky number. Okay, the Beijing Olympics, they started on August 8, 2008 at 8 p.m. Okay, so you don't play with that. So I was making sure not to have any 4 in the price numbers I was giving, so that when they will tell out the numbers at the big ceremony, okay, this company is offering from 1 million. Make sure not to have the word death in my price. It's just like some symbolic that maybe I got crazy about that, but I can tell that sometimes people was like, even the business cards, I think I told you at the beginning, make sure to have business cards in the localized language, okay, and present you as you are, okay. Know the people at every level. There's another project where I took care of knowing like the leaders, the architects, the financial and stuff, but I did not care really that much at that time about the operational level. And then we finally lost the project because people at the operational level made the leaders convinced that we were not the right company for the project. It's like, if you're in a dinner, just don't focus only on the people on the right who might not say a word and stuff, they might be important also for you to know. So make sure to cheers with everyone and know the people you're with, okay? It's a, but okay, so it was just like look global to look local, localize the language. I said that, avoid politics, get involved in some charity thing is possible. It always look good if you show you care about the school on the other side of the street, even asking question. I'm sorry, I saw a school. I mean, what is there? Is this on construction? Yeah, they have the fire and stuff. Oh no, what happened? What's happening with the kids? Is there anything? I mean, maybe I could tell my Canadian friends if they can have I don't know if there's a surplus of lockers they could send. Even just having this idea will show people, okay, you have a heart. I mean, you're not here. Something delicate also, but some places in Asia or in the world, they will never take you. They will never. En French, we say prendre pitié. They will never.
Sorry for.
Yeah, sorry for you. Okay, because we in Canada we have nice air, freedom. You will probably look healthy. Well, so it's nothing about money. Okay, they probably could buy you 10 times, but you still have something they don't have, is this freedom and this possibility that when you get back to your place, you will breathe nice air and stuff. Every time I brought people here, that's the, so when you will say, you know what, I really need this payment because my cash flow is down and I will have problems at the end of the month and stuff. It's like, yeah. You having problems, you don't know anything about problem. That's, they will never, that was my reality. So
they'll never empathize with you, essentially.
Sorry?
They won't empathize with you.
They will not empathize. They will empathize on anything touching the heart. Okay, that's common. I was thinking about the eyes. The other common things on earth will be the heart. Okay, if you say, well, okay, you know, you have a situation that is really making you sick or making you, and it's sincere. That's something they will. That's something they will care about. Okay. Yeah, I would stop there. I don't know. I felt I really brought you into my kind of strategy, but also emotions or.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, and it's interesting what you said at the end, because that's kind of what will stick probably with a lot of people, is the fact that in North America we're very business oriented, like get stuff done type of mindset, whereas when you go in other places, they do care about the relationship, they do care about how you present yourself, how you approach them, and your level of understanding of them. So that's really interesting, and I think your experience in so many different places. I had no idea you had a music background, so that's cool. That's good to know. And it's all the different places that you've been through and you've been to must have like really taught you a lot of different things. So that's it's normal that we kind of want to present everything, but we have finite amount of time.
Yeah.
We'll take, anybody has any questions before we let Jean-Luc go? Anybody wants to manifest themselves? It's funny because every time, so Franny, I'll let you, I'll give you access to your mic.
Allô?
Hi.
Bonjour, bonjour à vous deux. J'avais une question parce que moi, j'ai habité 11 ans en Allemagne, puis j'étais artiste multidisciplinaire là, de cirque, chanteuse et comédienne. Bon. Et je voulais avoir, Jean-Luc, si tu avais une expérience par rapport à l'Allemagne, en fait, qu'est-ce que ton idée?
Yeah, tu mets en français ou?
I can speak English too, no problem. I wanted to have your if you had worked in Germany and what was your experience there, because I was living there for 11 years and I'm thinking to go back actually to open a business there, and I'm not sure. I mean, for sure not now with what's happening now at the moment, but I mean, eventually in the next few years, that's something I would like to develop, and something like experiential cabaret. And
it's a good question, and for me, Germany is such an example of another kind of culture and thinking. I was first in Germany in 1996 and 1997, actually, for a music project. In 1996, I was involved in the Bruckner Fest in Linz in Austria for the 100th anniversary of death anniversary of Anton Bruckner. And then the people I was with, we moved to Bavaria and made some, it was a classical concert with young choirs. It was very interesting. But I was amazed, like, about, well, you know, I mean, and then Germany became the two main competitors I had in China for developing the pipe organ project, not only in Asia, but China, but whole Asia, even in South Korea. One was Austrian and the other one was German. So, and then I had to face them as more as competitor. They are so disciplined. They're so, you need to be prepared. You need, and I don't want to stigmatize and say those people are like that. Okay, everyone is different and stuff, but still, sometimes there are attitude that I was having as staying, for example, staying behind the scene and trying to, and then people telling me, hey, you need to be at the front, you're the leader. Yeah, but they don't really need me there. I mean, everything is fine. You need to be, I mean, it's not even like, don't ask yourself. I mean, show you lead and give confidence to the people at the back, a bit like military. I would say, okay, and I'm sorry if there's any German people here, but it's good. I mean, you
There
need.
actually is one.
Huh?
There actually is one on the call, so yeah.
Yeah, so it's very strict. Discipline is good. Quality, I mean, people are so admirative. Everyone, I mean, when you talk about Bosch, Audi, BMW, I mean, you think about the quality of something coming from Germany. So they have to keep up. They have to stand this. I had projects where finally, when they realized they were getting something from Germany, but then it was not really that good, I'm sorry to say, but then it was like a real opening for us to say, well, see, Germans can make cars, but in Canada, we make planes and trains. So we even, this was at the time Bombardier was going good. Well, I don't know if I answered, but for sure, Germany is a really challenging, and even depending on the region. Okay, the project I did in Berlin, I mean, the first time I was in Berlin, I was not expecting like, and even are you more on the east or west side of the city, you have totally different attitude toward us being kind of North American. Okay, on the east side, I would say that you better have an interpreter with you. Okay, they will make. I mean, my experience is like it was even on purpose to say that they were not speaking English. So, and I respect that. I mean, there's a lot of history behind that, and I would be acting the same if I was there. So, yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Mais Sophanie, si tu veux qu'on en discute un peu plus, ça m'intéresse aussi de voir ce que tu fais puis le genre de développement que tu ferais là-bas. Là.
Ah, génial. Ben, merci beaucoup, Jean-Luc. Ça me ferait vraiment plaisir d'en parler avec toi. Écoute, je peux te rejoindre où, en fait?
Ben, écoute, nous, on peut te donner, je suis membre de pas mal de zoos là, avec l'incubateur et tout ça. Là.
Ouais.
So reach out. I'll leave my email in the chat.
Oh, that's wonderful. I will also send my email. I don't know if everybody can see it if I put my email.
Yeah, just take mine and then send me an email so you're.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Everyone can also reach me on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn. I'll contact you there. Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much. It's really nice to hear your story and your passion. And yeah, I'm looking forward to talk to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Sophanie.
Thank you.
All right. On that note, I think our time is up. Yeah, if you guys, I left my email there. If you guys have any other questions that you want to reach out to Jean-Luc for, please don't hesitate to send them. If you're already part of the Zoo community, you'll probably find him on Slack. He's very active there. So don't hesitate to reach out to him. He's a very approachable, very nice guy. And I really enjoy every conversation I have with him. So I'm sure you will too. So thanks, Jean-Luc. And have a great day, everyone. Merci.
Yeah. Take care and see you soon. Seems that we'll be able to soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
Take care.